phone.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
I just heard a little click. You're cool. Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of these people would stand around in the public square waiting on the decapitation of, and when the head would get cut off, I mean, these crazy people would have a throng, a running mob, and create a stampede trying to get to the blood, to get on their hands and knees and lick and sop it up off the damn ground. They were fighting over, if the head didn't land in the right place, people would actually fight over the head, and whoever caught it would run around like a goddamn savage, drinking the blood out of the head and, eating on the head. That's one of the reasons why Columbus said when he got here he had never seen so much non-human food, because they were so cannibalistic. When you first started looking into it, because when I told my listeners that one of them doing her due diligence, she was like, wow, Yaffa, this Hansel and Gretel stuff, I thought these were fairy tales. After you brought that to my attention, I started looking into this. This is true. She said, anybody doesn't believe you, wait a minute, anybody doesn't believe you, show them this link, this link, this link, this link, but go ahead.
Okay, we got to pause for a minute and rewind. It's been a long time. What's the story with Hansel and Gretel?
Well, Hansel and Gretel are some story about some father and some woodsman or whatever that they were poor, or whatever the case may be, and they took Hansel and Gretel out in the woods and are supposed to have told them, took them out there to lose them. And basically they found their way home, and I guess they were taken back out there again to lose them. I don't know if it was a real mother, a stepmother, or what the case may be, but they were trying to get rid of these 2 additional mouths to feed. So they kind of sent them off in the woods to try to lose them out there. I think the first time the children found their way back. I think the second time, I think they had dropped breadcrumbs and a bird ate the breadcrumbs, so they couldn't really find their way back. Some of this stuff, it was a long time ago. If you want, I can pull one of these fairy tale books from out here. But they found some gingerbread made type house where the whole house was made out of candy and cookies and things like that, and some so-called witch is supposed to have lived in there, and they're supposed to have gotten tricked into the house because the broad wanted to feed them and fatten them up and then eat them. So the point I'm making, the Hansel and Gretel story is really not relevant. The relevancy here is that this whole, she was just saying the story about these people eating the children or eating the people, she just thought it was some kind of fairy tale, and it was truth to it. Now, because we are waking up about who they are and what their culture was, when you go into do a Google search, because the sister, I guess, had Googled, I said, well, how did you find all these links? Because I didn't find the links. I was just giving people what was coming to me, okay? She said, well, I just Googled cannibalism Europe, and all this shit came up. Well, when you go Google cannibalism Europe now, and one of the first things that comes up, you click into it, they show brown-skinned people eating white-skinned people. I'm like, oh, see, they on some whole other shit. They know niggas are waking up. They know Europeans are starting to look into this going, damn, is this shit true about us? So they're trying to make it look, oh, no, it was them. No, it was you. It was your people doing this to people that look like you. You know what I'm saying? Because they were just on some whole other crazy. You know what I mean? So the point is, a lot of these people were tortured and tormented so badly over there that on the colonies here, the same thing occurred. A lot of these people were beaten into submission, hands cut off, feet cut off, tongues cut out, hot steel bodkins run through their tongues by the damn clergy, okay? This is what was happening to so-called white folks at the hands of so-called white clergy from the damn church right here in the United States. And because they were treated so badly and so horrendously, because, in their culture, the king or any of his militia could come in and rape you, your wife, your children, whenever they wanted to, and you couldn't say anything about it. King's order. I'm the king's man. I can come in and quarter in your house and quarter with your wife and do what I want to do. And you have to tolerate me. You have no say-so in this matter. So a lot of people that had problems with it, these were people that were getting murdered and killed, and, a lot of people that wanted to do their own thing, but they had to be subjugated by these crazy people that look like them. This is what they were dealing with, and these are the people that were being put to death in the public square and things like that. And if you do any major research, it's out there. You don't have to do any major research. Hell, there are a lot of movies about the stuff. You just really want to know about it if you know how to see what you see. But over here, they were treated so badly here as well on the penal colonies because, after all, they were a lot of them prisoners for debt, as subjugated or whatever the case may be. Because remember, Europe was trying to clean up, or supposedly claimed, trying to clean up some of their streets, and a lot of the unwanted were being booted out and scattered around the world, you know, in South Africa, Australia, America, you know what I mean? The craziest suckers wound up in these places. Now, a lot of them ran away to be with our people. They lost Europeans by the thousands upon thousands that were running off the colonies to hang out with our people because being with us was better. You didn't get arbitrarily raped. You didn't get beaten. You didn't get, as a child, sodomized and molested. You didn't get eaten. You didn't get tortured or tormented. You know, nobody was starving you. We had food and plenty, and we were very generous with it because everything was free to us. Hell, nature gives it to us, and nature gives it to you, too. You want food, there it is, go get it. Them, you want food, you got to go beg for it, borrow for it, have sex for it, pay for it, or whatever the case may be. And we're pretty much back at square one because they got white on us and they didn't keep their eyes on their liberation prize. Now they're in trouble because they were so busy being white, looking at us and didn't look at, you know, you're looking so busy looking in front of you, you didn't look behind you, where you came from. You forgot where you came from. And you forgot how we helped you get from up under where you came from. But running around to hang out with us was so much better that the international bankers, the crown heads of Europe, and the heads of the church, which I call the Trinity, okay? I call that the three that want to be, the three that want to be, okay? Those individuals have their faction of people that hunt people down. The international bankers have mercenaries. The crown heads have knights. The the church has the Jesuit militia, and they will hunt you down like a dog, okay? So a lot of these individuals, because they were losing so many of their debtors, subjects, and, you know, debtors for the international bankers, subjects for the crown heads, and property for the church, they had to figure out a way to stop these people from running off to hang out with us. So what they did is they passed laws against what they called Indianization, which is so-called Europeans running off and acting like so-called Indians. That's how so many Europeans are on the reservations today, claiming to be the damn Indians, while the damn Indians claim to be African. Okay? So that was one of the reasons, and that was... Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, for clarity's sake, because and we have a couple of questions that had came in, too, about a couple of comments that were made earlier. But for clarity's sake, I just wanted to elaborate more just about that term, Indian, because, you know, the country was never, Indianization. But what I'm saying is that for the masses of the people, they really do heavily cling to the word Indian, not really realizing that, you know, when Columbus came here, they did refer to the people as los gentes en Dios, which means the people and God. So, you know, being that this country was never, ever, ever called India, it seems, of course, it's apparent that in Dios has taken a whole other meaning to say, like, it's a national identity of a people, where that's how the term, you know, had came about. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, a lot of our people are not aware. Well, you know, Columbus was supposed to be so-called Jewish, and even though his operation was financed by Queen Isabella and Prince Ferdinand, when he left, and I'm thinking, anyway, when he left the Americas, instead of reporting back to Spain, he reported back to Portugal. Because living in the ports of Portugal were a lot of these people that they, at the time, that they called so-called Jews that had been expelled from Spain around the time that the so-called Moors were expelled from Spain. So a lot of these so-called Jews were expelled from Spain, and they were living on boats ported and docked in the harbors of Portugal. So when Columbus went back away from the Americas, he had a bunch of niggas with him. I think he left with approximately 500 niggas.
I got a question. Wait 1 second. Yaffa.
Go ahead.
Yaffa.
What?
That was one of the questions that I have and what the people came in, you know, have chimed in on. In reference to niggas. Why are you saying niggas?
I'm always say niggas. Ain't nobody finna stop me from saying niggas. N-E-G-U-S is, I'm just answering your question. Now you gonna let me answer?
Okay.
N-E-G-U-S is pronounced niggas, okay? Now, a lot of people write it N-I-G-G-A-S, and I think that's something subliminal that makes them cling to terms that apply to them, like a bunch of Crips call one another cuz, short for cousin, okay? The term cousin is a term of endearment used by one royal noble bloodline individual to address another royal noble bloodline individual, hence cousin. Niggas, N-E-G-U-S, is pronounced niggas, and people can call it what they want to call it, but it's pronounced niggas, and it means an Ethiopian royal or noble or king. Now, Ethiopian, that word, when you break it down, E-T-H always means so-called ethnic, ethereal, ethics. It's always talking about dark complexion people.
You mean negus, N-E-G-U-S.
N-E-G-U-S is pronounced niggas, okay? It's not nigu.
It's N-E-G-U-S. But what I'm saying is that, I hear what you're saying, but the thing is that this is the dildo, Yaffa, right? When you're looking at the word nigga or people...
No, you think about niggers. I didn't say niggers. I said niggers.
Just let me say this. No, seriously. Now, I just want to speak out on this, and we are going to jump back into subject matter because, it's really, key and it's good that you're bringing this out. But I just wanted to highlight because, people, there's been a lot of controversy about the use of the N-word, but at the end of the day, well, I'm just saying what people, this is what's said.
The N-word is Neanderthal.
Well, you can say that all day long. But what I'm saying
let me
is that, let me just say
what you're saying. I'm going to forget what I'm saying in a minute.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that we're looking at things in context, especially now since a lot of people are heavily looking at the whole issue of nationality, legal status, and identity, right? When you look in a Latin dictionary, nigger was a word used to reference to black, right?
You didn't hear me say nigger.
Just let me say this, right?
Hurry up and say it.
So, Yaffa, chill, girl, please. So listen. What I'm saying is that just like how with all of our vernacular, when we speak, we always don't put ER on the end of words. It is commonly known that in our vernacular that when we're talking, of course, with other people from different cultures, if they don't understand, our dialect, how we pronounce things, we'll just say it plain as it appears so that they can understand. But what I'm saying is that amongst our own people, it is common knowledge and known vernacular that we always change our ERs to Oz.
Okay, you're not saying what it is you need to say.
So what I'm saying, but I'm explaining. So what I'm saying is that although due to your studies and your exposure, you're connecting the negus or nagas and stuff like that to a title of royalty. What I'm stating is that on the main stage and talking and dealing with people, lecturing and stuff, I don't know if that is the best choice of words because at the end of the day, niggas came about as a result of people changing the ER, and just like how we do with our vernacular and changing ER to Oz. So what I'm saying is that at this point, and especially because I have to say, and I always have to give so much thanks to the ancestors, the scholars, Prophet Noble Jew Ali, Taj, Raz, Annie Eid, Fonteas, and so many others, the Sabirs out there, the Abdullahs and stuff, because it's like with so much information that has been, and thanks to you as well, but with so much information that has been brought to the table, even for me to see that Naga was a royal title, Negus was a royal title, I know not to really be like niggas if I know that the people were Moors.
Okay, well, I'm not sure. I get the impression that hold up. I get the impression that what you're saying is, when you're on my show, can you please stop using the word niggas? And I'm asking you repeatedly, just say what you're saying, and you're pissing around and him and hawing all around the world.
I'm not
saying what